Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on solubility as an equilibrium process. In our last lesson, we learned about unsaturated, saturated, and supersaturated solutions. We learned that unsaturated solutions can dissolve more solute at a given temperature. Saturated solutions contain dissolved and undissolved solutes that are in dynamic equilibrium. Supersaturated solutions contain a larger amount of solute than saturated solutions do. We also learned how to prepare unsaturated and saturated solutions using sodium sulfate and supersaturated solutions using sodium thiosulfate. In today's lesson, we will define solution and solubility. We will describe some of the factors that affect the solubility of substances, and we will discuss the effect of temperature on solubility of sodium sulfate. Let us begin. There are several factors that can affect the solubility of substances, including temperature, pressure, and concentration. Today, we will focus on the effects of temperature. The solubility of most substances is affected by temperature. As we have discussed in previous lessons, when solids dissolve in liquids, the solid solute particles must separate. In order for this to happen, energy must be added. Therefore, for solids, the change in heat energy for separating particles of the solute is greater than zero. In contrast, gas particles are already separated. Therefore, the change in heat energy for gas solutes is approximately equal to zero. Students, do you remember learning about hydration in our previous lessons? Hydration is the same process as solvation when the solvent is water. Solvation is when the solute particles become surrounded by solvent molecules. Since the hydration step of the solution process is exothermic, the sum of the change in heat energy of hydration and that of the solute has to be negative. Therefore, for all gases in water, the change in heat energy of the solute is less than 0. Students, let us discuss this equation. It means that the solubility of gas in water decreases with rising temperatures. In many, although not all cases, the solubility of solid substances increases with higher temperatures. Students, do you remember what the term solubility means? Please define this term as well as the term solution as a quick review before we move on.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. These are very important terms, so please make sure you have defined them properly. Solubility refers to the tendency of a solid, liquid, or gas solute to dissolve in a solid, liquid, or gas solvent to form a homogeneous solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Let us return to our previous discussion. As we have learned, the solubility of solids tends to increase with higher temperatures. However, the increase in solubility depends on the substance. Let us look at a few examples. The solubility of sodium chloride in water increases by about 10% when the temperature is raised from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. The solubility rises from 35.7 grams per 100 grams to 39.8 grams per 100 grams. Silver nitrate offers a more extreme example. Its solubility increases by over 700% over the same temperature range. The solubility of silver nitrate rises from 122 grams per 100 grams to 951 grams per 100 grams. Let us discuss an experiment that will provide an interesting example of how temperature can affect the solubility of a substance to produce mixed solubility behavior. First, a solution of sodium sulfate is prepared at room temperature. This solution is heated and some crystal of sodium sulfate is added. If the crystal or solute dissolves, then more can be added. Between 0 and 32.4 degrees Celsius, the solubility of sodium sulfate rises. Once the solution reaches 32.4 degrees, it is at its maximum of 49.7 grams of sodium sulfate per 100 grams of water. If the temperature continues to rise after this point, the solubility of sodium sulfate begins to decrease. From 32.4 degrees to 100 degrees Celsius, its solubility drops from 49.7 grams per 100 grams to 42 grams per 100 grams. Students, we have learned that some compounds show mixed solubility behavior. However, most display more general tendencies in relation to temperature and solubility. Please Describe how most solids and gases are affected by temperature in terms of their solubility. You may begin now.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, students. How did you do with this activity? Let us go through the answers together. The solubility of most gases decreases when the temperature of the solution is increased. The solubility of solids generally increases when the temperature of the solution is raised. Good work, everyone. In today's lesson, we reviewed the terms solubility and solution. We learned that solubility is the tendency of a solid, liquid, or gas solute to dissolve in a solid, liquid, or gas solvent to form a homogeneous solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. We studied how temperature affects the solubility of different substances in both the gaseous and solid form. We learned that the solubility of gases typically decreases with an increase in temperature. We also learned that the solubility of almost all solids increases with added heat. This brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.